My clematises are over 5 years old now, but they haven't always been here. I recently moved and I brought them with me. I'll talk to you how I brought them over and the mistakes I made when I brought them over. I have 3 different clematises in 3 different locations. They all experience a little bit of a different sun, and I'll talk to you about that too. This one was my biggest clematis. It climbed the highest, it let out the most branches or vines, but unfortunately it suffered the worst transplant compared to the others. The biggest mistake I made was, as you see at the bottom, it's doing really good. It sent out some new growth. This is all new growth coming in here, new vines. But then here you can see some of the old vines, you know, shot out some leaves and some flowers, which is good, but in the end, what I should have done, I got a little greedy. I wanted it to bloom immediately, which it did, but not to the size it originally was. What I should have done is taken the vines, the healthy vines right here, and cut them probably about halfway, not this big bush, you know, cluster of vines. And I should have let it focus on new growth. As it was being transplanted and moved, unfortunately a lot of these were getting bent, broken, exposed to the elements. And it wasn't in its same, atmosphere, situation that it was before. And that's the big mistake I made. If you come over here, this one, I just had a few little vines that's actually, buried right now. You can't even see it, that I brought it with, and I let it focus on new growth. And here's the new growth just climbing. It's doing really, really well. I did the right step for this one, not so much for that one, unfortunately. But if I come over here, my last one over here, same situation. I only had a few pieces of the new growth. See, even here I cut a piece off. Here's some of the old growth, and it really didn't do well, so it sent out some new. This is all, actually, this is a piece of old, and actually, oh, nope, that didn't survive. So unfortunately, a lot of the old growth didn't survive. If you're transplanting your clematis, definitely just cut it down, maybe 3 feet long at the most, and let it shoot out some new growth. It had a really good established roots, and that's why I was able to come out and bloom, the next season. But look at this old growth here. Nothing happened. I'm trying to find anything that shows off at the very bottom. That's all I have. Only at the bottom does it show shooting off some of the new growth from the old growth. But lesson learned in that case. But keep watching. I want to show you more about clematis care. I have 2 other clematises here. This one on the left hand side gets the most amount of sun, but unfortunately it's doing the worst because of how I transplanted it, which I talked to you earlier. And this one is doing pretty well. It gets a good amount of sun, but because it's getting so much sun right here, it's not climbing as much to reach any more sun, because it's trying to spread out and reach the left and right to get the sun that way. Same thing with this one. It's trying to reach left and right to get the sun, and not so much up, because the sun is focusing down